Today we're presenting the geological history of California, more specifically the Bay Area. Our story starts 200 million years ago during the Jurassic period and the Mesozoic era. The first birds appear and the dinosaurs are diversifying. Fossils are telltale signs that chert from San Francisco was formed over 200 million years ago. This is the oldest rock in the Bay Area. Greywacke turbidites are also found in the region dating from the same period. A 140 million years ago, the Farallon Plate starts subducting. Hundreds of millions of years ago, Pangaea, a supercontinent, began splitting up to form what we now know as the continents. This brought us to the Cretaceous period, the first signs of primates, the first flowering plants, and the extinction of dinosaurs. A big gap opened up where the Atlantic now is, and because of this huge splitting, the Farallon Plate was pushed. Due to its less dense properties, it was subducted under the mantle. As a result, the Farallon Plate disappeared under North America.
100 million years ago, we remain in the Cretaceous period. Common sedimentary rocks like Greywacke sandstone are formed. Sandstone is a clastic sedimentary rock composed of sand-sized grains. Greywacke is a rock resulting from an avalanche and made from mud and grains. An ooze forms between the rocks, made out of radiolaria, which are small organisms. This causes the layers. 10 million years ago. The San Andreas Fault is a continental transform fault. After the Farallon Plate was subducted, or swallowed, by the North American continent 160 million years ago, the mid-oceanic ridge could not be subducted because it was too big. The plate went under just fine, but the mid-oceanic ridge could not. As a result, the plate stopped subducting and the San Andreas Fault was formed. Once the transformed zone grows and collides with the subduction zone/continent, it propagates over millions of years instead of moving inward. And here's a movie that they made about it.
It's like a really bad movie, so I'd recommend watching it. 4 million years ago. The Santa Cruz Mountains started rising above sea level, pushed up by compression created by a large bend in the San Andreas Fault. Two million years ago. With that, the Valley of San Francisco and the Bay Area is formed. 50,000 years ago. The most recent ice age took place from 50,000 years ago to 12,000 years ago, not to be confused with the Ice Age in the Ice Age movie, which was 3.3 million years ago. A kilometer-thick sheet of ice covered the globe. Water was frozen trapped in the glaciers, which made the waterline recede. The ocean shore we now know was out to the Farallon Islands 32 miles away. Where we are now, and where the water is, were marshlands and forests. Rivers and deltas ran through, causing erosion under the Golden Gate Bridge. "8,000 years ago. 8,000 years ago, with the Ice Age coming to an end and the sheet of ice melting, the Valley of San Francisco was flooded and finally became the Bay. 167 years ago, or 1853. San Francisco is extended 1 mile west. In between the 1840s and 60s, San Francisco began to transform into a major city during the time of the gold rush. Massive expansions in all directions with quaternary artificial fill created new neighborhoods such as the Western Addition, the Haight-Ashbury, Eureka Valley, the Mission District, with the last being the construction of Golden Gate Park in 1887. Some of these extended areas are susceptible to liquefaction during earthquakes as they are built on a former landfill. 114 years ago, or 1906. April 18, 1906, at 5:12 a.m., an earthquake with a magnitude of 7.9 shook the bay. The epicenter was in the Pacific Ocean, 2 miles west of San Francisco. The earthquake occurred along the San Andreas Fault and was felt in LA, Oregon, and many other places across the West Coast. The devastation was of huge proportion. Fires and rubble engulfed the city.
Here's a clip. "50 to 60 years ago, in 1960 and 70. Going back, in 1915, the theory of plate tectonics began with a man named Alfred Wegener, who was a German-Polish explorer and meteorologist. He noticed that continents were not static. In other words, continents do not move. But there were still many questions left, like why are there rocks of the same age and chemical composition on the opposite side of the world? Then came Dan Mackenzie, one of the architects in modern plate tectonics theory. He was the original geologist to come up with the discoveries of plate tectonics, finalized in the 60s and 70s. 31 years ago, 1989. The Loma Prieta earthquake happened. In 1989, another famous earthquake devastated the Bay Area. Notable destruction was made, including parts of the highway and the Bay Bridge collapsing. Here's a clip.
It was a wonderfully exuberant time, a golden Indian summer day, and both local baseball teams were in the World Series.
At the tone, Pacific Daylight Time will be 5, 4, and 30 seconds.
So the Oakland A's take.
Hey, what, we're having an earthquake.
Have you gotten word about the Bay Bridge?
What about the Bay Bridge? What's wrong with it?
The upper deck appears to have collapsed during that earthquake.
Hold on a second.
We are flying over the seismic structure right now. That section of highway that connects the Bay Bridge to 880.
I don't believe it. Man.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Power has been interrupted temporarily in the park.
No power anywhere in the city, no phones, no word on how extensive the damage was.
We are in the Marina District of San Francisco. It looks like part of an entire city block is burning. Please clear the area. We do not have enough medical personnel to be able to handle you if you get hurt here. You're not involved. Go home. Secure your residence.
Shook like it was just a piece of straw. Everything's gone. Lamps went and it threw me off the chair.
I can only
14 years ago and one day apart. Seismic birth. Little Ella and little Stella.
We were born one day apart. I was born on August 28th, 2006, and she was born on August 29th, 2006.
Virgos.
Stop.
Thank you.